Today, we're diving into a powerful story about a family bond that was forged in grief, absolutely shattered by pride, and in the end, put to the ultimate test. It's an incredible tale, and it all centers around one single, devastating idea. You see, everything in this story comes down to this one word, Algyojha. Now, this isn't just about getting separate apartments. In the culture where this story comes from, the joint family is everything. It's your social safety net, your financial stability. So Algyojha means a deep emotional break, a severing of ties that's seen as a profound tragedy. And wow, this quote from our main character, Raghu, just hits you right in the gut. It perfectly captures that feeling. For him, sharing one kitchen, one hearth, that was the symbol of unity. To divide the bread was, quite literally, to divide the family's heart. So to really get why this division is such a big deal, we've got to rewind a bit, go back to the beginning. Because this story starts with a family that's already been broken by death, and how an unexpected bond was built right from the ashes of that grief. Okay, so you've got Raghu. He's the stepson. When his father dies, his stepmother, Panna, is left all alone with her 4 young children. And her first thought, her immediate fear, is that Raghu is going to just abandon them, kick them out. She doesn't see a son, she sees a threat. But then something amazing happens. Panna's fear just melts away. She sees Raghu's true character shine through. He's carving little toys for his half-siblings, and he even sells the only valuable thing he owns, a gold pendant, just to buy a cow so the kids can have milk. And that one selfless act, it completely flips her perspective. The threat she feared becomes the family's protector. And get this, for 5 whole years, this new family actually thrives. With Raghu working tirelessly, they find a peace and prosperity they've never had before. He steps up. He becomes the father figure, the provider. He's the glue holding them all together. But you know how stories go, right? This kind of hard-won peace, it just can't last. A new person is about to enter the picture, and she's going to sow the seeds of total discord. So Raghu, who's now a young man, brings home his new wife, Mulia. She's beautiful, she's charming, and at first, everyone thinks she's a wonderful addition. But, just under the surface, Mulia has this fierce pride and a very, very different idea of how things should be. And this is where things start to unravel. Mulia is a master at reframing the situation. She starts whispering in Raghu's ear, twisting his sacrifice into exploitation. She plants these little seeds of doubt, that Panna is just using him, that his brothers will eventually leave him, and that she, Mulia, is being treated like a servant. And those whispers, well, they don't stay whispers for long. They turn into arguments, into open conflict, into this constant battle inside the house. And it all leads to an ultimatum that's going to tear Raghu's entire world apart. Finally, Mulia drops the bombshell. She demands the Algyojha, the separation. She wants her own kitchen, her own hearth. And you can just feel Raghu's desperation in his plea. To him, this isn't about logistics. It's a fatal blow, a literal breaking of his heart. Panna, seeing how much this is destroying Raghu, makes this absolutely heartbreaking choice. To stop her stepson from being torn in two, she agrees to the division. She basically releases him from his duty to her and her kids. And just like that, it's done. The second fire is lit in the house. The symbolic act is complete. In that one moment, the family that Raghu fought so hard to build is officially and tragically broken. The Algyojha is now a reality. So what happens next? Well, the fallout from this decision is swift and it's devastating. And it all lands right on the shoulders of the one person who tried so desperately to prevent it. For Raghu, this separation isn't freedom. It's a slow, painful path to the end. You see, the Algyojha it breaks him. He's cut off from the brothers he basically raised as his own sons. He throws himself into his work, but the combination of grief, the backbreaking labor, and debt just wears him down. Over the next 10 years, his spirit and his body just give out. And then comes the final blow. It's maybe the saddest part of the whole story. As Raghu is lying there, dying, he calls out for Kedar, the oldest of the brothers he raised. But Kedar? He's busy in the fields. He makes an excuse. He doesn't come. The bond has been completely and totally severed. But here's the incredible twist. Raghu's death, as tragic as it is, ends up being the one thing that can shock this family back to its senses. His sacrifice finally opens everyone's eyes to the terrible, terrible price of their division. So, with Raghu gone, what about Mulya? Well, that independence she fought so hard for has turned into her own personal prison. She's a widow, she can't manage the farm, she's got 2 little kids, she is facing utter ruin. And that's when it hits Kedar. The guilt just washes over him. And he finally gets it. He realizes his brother didn't just die. He died from the separation. Raghu sacrificed his life for them. And in that moment, Kedar vows that he will now live for Raghu's children. And Kedar doesn't waste a second. He springs into action. He tears down the markers dividing the farms, making them one again. He brings Mulya and her kids back into the main house and makes her its mistress. And then, in this final incredible act of healing, Paulina suggests that Kedar, who's not yet married, should marry Mulya, cementing the 2 broken halves of the family back into one. So, the family is restored. Through one brother's tragic death, another rises to reunite them. But it leaves you wondering, doesn't it? Can a family that was so completely shattered ever truly be made whole again? It's a bittersweet ending for sure, and a powerful question to think about.